Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. In this analysis, we're unpacking 4 seriously fascinating case studies that prove exactly how our daily actions deliver immediate, absolutely inescapable consequences. If you've ever wondered just how quickly a poor decision, or a courageous one for that matter, can rebound right back onto you, well, you are in the exact right place.
So, here's our agenda for today. We're going to analyze 4 distinct case studies, moving from deeply personal character flaws to the genuinely inspiring power of proactive civic virtue. We'll kick things off with the greedy Daba owner, then move to the arrogant rich kid, check out the melting clay bike, and finally wrap up on a really high note with the viral village bridge.
All right, let's dive right into case study number 1, the greedy Daba owner.
To really understand our first subject, a guy named Kishore, and his, let's call them, unique problem-solving skills. Picture this. A customer is complaining about a fly buzzing near their food. Normal problem, right? Well, instead of using a fan or just swatting it away, Kishore literally grabs a can of toxic bug spray and blasts it directly onto the customer's plate. It's incredible physical comedy for sure, but it perfectly highlights his fatal flaw, the absolute desperation for the lowest effort solution, no matter how dangerous or absurd it actually is.
Now things really heat up when his parents leave for a pilgrimage. They put Kishore in charge of their well-respected food stall. But, when the cat's away, the moment they're gone, short-term greed completely takes over. Just to maximize his own pocket money, he ignores the advice of his loyal staff and starts serving stale, leftover food to paying customers.
But here's the thing about cutting corners. You can't cheat people for long. A customer catches him red-handed, and the reaction is swift, physical, and brutal. Bruised and battered, Kishore is forced to learn an absolute, undeniable business truth. Honesty is literally the only sustainable way to operate. Chasing a quick buck will completely ruin your long-term brand trust.
Moving right along to case study 2, the arrogant rich kid.
Okay, so let's head over to Ramnagar, where we meet this wealthy kid named Ramu. He brings this incredibly expensive remote control helicopter into the village, and he's doing it for one reason only, to taunt the other kids. But as you might guess, his arrogance is way bigger than his actual skill level. Within seconds, he crashes the helicopter straight into a tree and completely shatters it. So instead of the awe and jealousy he wanted, he instantly becomes an object of intense mockery. And let me tell you, that deeply, deeply bruises his fragile ego.
Now what's really interesting here is the clash in values. Driven by pure jealousy over a village boy's authentic, beautifully handcrafted bamboo cycle, Ramu throws a massive tantrum. He literally forces his servants to slap together a fake wooden imitation in just 2 days. It's a classic face-off, isn't it? Authentic, careful craftsmanship going up against a rushed, arrogant imitation.
So Ramu immediately challenges the boy to a downhill race, boasting that he is superior simply because he's rich. And the consequence? Oh, it is absolutely satisfying. As they're speeding down the hill, Ramu's cheap, hastily built wooden cycle just completely falls apart mid-race. The tire snaps off, the handlebars literally rip right off in his hands, and he plunges face first into a muddy ditch while the whole village roars with laughter. His arrogance quite literally led to his downfall.
All right, let's take a breather and look at case study number 3, the melting clay bike.
This is a slightly lighter, more comedic tragedy of vanity, centering around a young boy named Shiva. Shiva is completely obsessed with motorcycles, but his friends constantly mock him because he only has a stationary clay toy. So what does he do? He engages in a highly questionable DIY project. Step 1, he takes his old mini pedal cycle. Step 2, he meticulously covers it entirely in thick, wet clay, sculpting it to look exactly like a real motorcycle. And step 3, he proudly pedals it out to his friends, bragging about his incredible new ride.
But nature has a pretty great sense of humor. The immediate consequence of his vanity arrives in the form of the weather. Literally, right as he's showing off, a sudden, heavy rainstorm breaks out. The downpour just completely melts the wet clay away, right in front of his friend's eyes. His grand illusion dissolves into a literal puddle of mud, leaving him sitting there on his ugly, rusty old bicycle while his friends relentlessly tease him. I mean, it's a perfect visual metaphor for exactly how fragile a fake image truly is.
Now, let's pivot for our 4th and final case study, the viral village bridge.
We're shifting gears away from negative traits like greed and vanity and building to a highly inspiring climax about the sheer virtue of taking proactive action. Our focal point here is a young man named Gopal.
He drives back to his village in a brand new car, only to find out he literally can't cross the river because the old wooden bridge is destroyed. He angrily confronts the village Pradhan and uncovers this deep-rooted infrastructure failure. The Pradhan explains he's been writing letters to the government for years, but they just ignore them. And tragically, villagers have literally lost their lives trying to cross during medical emergencies. And right as they're having this conversation, a frantic mother runs up. Her son has just suffered a snake bite. It's a life-or-death emergency. Now, Gopal doesn't wait for bureaucracy. He immediately orders a local boy to start filming on a phone. He scoops up the dying child in his arms, dangerously navigates that broken bridge on foot, and rushes to the hospital in his car on the other side. And within hours, that heroic, crazy video sparks a massive viral movement online.
Gopal's immediate action forces a massive, undeniable consequence. The viral video reaches the top levels of the government. Faced with the incredibly public shame of their own neglect being exposed, the government ministers completely bypass the usual red tape. They immediately order the construction of a permanent concrete bridge for the entire village. So Gopal didn't just save a single life that day. He solved a generational crisis through sheer, decisive action.
So, bringing it all together, lessons from the village.
Let's look at exactly what we've learned today and how it applies to us. Every single individual we looked at faced an immediate consequence of their character. Kishore learned the hard way that you simply cannot shortchange people and expect to succeed. Ramu warned us that a bruised ego and a face full of mud are pretty much the only rewards for arrogance. Shiva proved that practicality will always outlast vanity. And Gopal? He brilliantly showed us that civic duty, especially when you combine it with modern tools like a smartphone, drives real structural change.
Ultimately, these aren't just entertaining little stories. They're direct reflections of the choices we make every single day. Whether you're cutting corners at work, putting someone else down just to elevate yourself, hiding behind a fake online persona, or actively choosing to step up when your community needs you, the consequences will always catch up to you. So I'm going to leave you with this powerful final question to reflect on. When the consequences of your actions finally arrive, what will the viral moment of your story be?